Our first writer, Karen Halvorsen-Schreck, is the author of the forthcoming novel Sing For Me from Simon & Schuster Howard Books, due out in April of 2014, as well as 2 young adult novels, While He Was Away, a finalist for the Oklahoma Book Award in 2012, and Dream Journal, a 2006 young adult book sense pick. She is also the author of the award-winning children's book Lucy's Family Tree, the recipient of a Pushcart Prize and an Illinois State Arts Council grant. Karen received her doctorate in English and creative writing from the University of Illinois at Chicago. She writes and teaches for a living. She loves visiting schools and other gatherings of readers, like this one, and writers to talk about her books and the writing process. For more information or to contact Karen, visit her blog at karenschreck.com/blog. Karen, come on up.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you all tonight. I'll be reading from the opening of my novel, While He Was Away. And to help you get your bearings, I'll say this. This novel, set near the end of the Iraq War, tells the story of 17-year-old Penna Weaver, whose boyfriend David is deployed to serve in the Army. In the midst of the loneliness and concern Penna experiences after David leaves, she learns of a grandmother she's never met, whose first husband was killed in World War II. Ultimately, Penna works to know her grandmother, a woman named Justine who has her own story to tell. I believe the only other thing that might help you understand this portion of the novel is that Penna and her mother have only recently moved to Killdeer, Oklahoma, the little town in which the book is set. Penna has had it pretty rough growing up. David is her first real love. And on this night, the night before his deployment, they're both shaken and scared. I won't let the Oklahoma wind whip our words away. They can get lost when David and I fly along like this. Him driving his red motorcycle, me holding on tight to him. But tonight, especially tonight, I won't let it happen. Tomorrow is soon enough. Tomorrow, David is really, truly gone. I lean into the ratcheting wind, into him, and shout, "Say something." David's muscled back moves against me. He laughs. "Something." His voice, echoing mine, is strong against the wind. "You know what I mean." But something is better than nothing. So I kiss David's neck, his brown skin tanned even darker now, until a shudder runs through him and he cries out, "Mercy!" Now I'm laughing too, laughing like there's no tomorrow. We bank around a sharp curve and bump from 2-lane pavement in the outskirts of Killdeer to single-lane red dirt road in the country. David revs the bike, sending up a cloud of dust. I bury my face in his shoulder to keep from getting an eyeful. My helmet bumps against his shoulder bone. I'm not laughing anymore. Why laugh when I can still breathe him in? Clean, spicy soap, faint, salty tang, and fresh-cut grass, because this afternoon he mowed the yard for his mom and dad one last time. When I look up, we've left Killdeer's streetlights far behind. Stars prick the dusky sky. Shapes dart and skitter in the bright headlight, bugs, birds, and bats trying to clear out of the way. I kiss David's neck again, and we swerve for one wild moment before he swiftly steers us straight. "Penna, you're distracting me." David casts this over his shoulder like a token. "Stop, or there could be trouble." He flashes his charming, crooked grin and starts singing Elvis Costello's "Accidents Will Happen" at the top of his lungs, all off key. Accidents, hit and run, Victims. These are the words that I hear. Don't. With such heat in my voice, I hardly sound like myself. Accidents, not funny. Or victims, not now, not ever. Immediately, I'm filled with regret. That was just the old David, my David, ready to play the fool for love, for me. Now he's fallen silent. He trains his gaze on the road ahead, our tunnel of light in the gathering dark. Hey, I try to sound like myself again, not the kind of girl who wigs out on her boyfriend, not the kind of girl who panics over stupid things. Sorry, this is crazy making, right? He doesn't answer. I lick my lips, gone dry from the wind. Okay, I'll talk about the things we used to talk about, all our incredible conversations about important things, all our incredible conversations about unimportant things. I should be able to remember something we used to talk about. I should be able to give us another conversation to remember when we're apart, right? Wrong. Wrong, because tomorrow threatens like an ugly giant just beyond the sunset orange horizon line, and I can't remember anything but that fact. Blackjack oaks flash past, gnarled shapes that anchor the vast fields and the hulking clots there that I know are longhorn cattle. David guns it, and we go faster yet. I wrap my arms tighter around his waist. There, where my right elbow presses, is the sickle-shaped scar he showed me the first time we kissed. Golden September day, Oklahoma City Art Museum. Ditched our class field trip to hang out in the sculpture garden, tucked into the shadow of a gigantic bronze statue of Geronimo. Our first kiss. David got that scar long before I knew him, when he was just 5 years old. He was sword playing with some other kid. Their weapons were sticks. The other kid's stick struck home too hard. David's scar is just the length of my little finger when my little finger bends to a slight curve. And here where my left wrist rests, are the ribs David cracked in 8th grade playing soccer. I didn't know David then either. I didn't know him when he played soccer like the Tasmanian devil, always getting hurt. That's what he told me once when it was raining, because those ribs still sometimes ache in wet weather. Stormy February day, baking cookies in his parents' messy kitchen. The sleety rain drummed against the roof and fell in sheets outside the windows. Checking the oven's temperature, he clutched the sudden ache in his ribs. When I first saw David play soccer last fall, he was totally in control, skimming and darting across the field, scoring goal after goal, finishing out his senior year strong. He never got hurt. Never. Never. And he never will. Everywhere beneath the length of my arms, David's familiar warmth reassures me. Never mind what we can or can't say. Never mind deployment. We can hold tight. I tell myself this, holding him tighter. We can hold tight across continents and the oceans in between. We've got the strong arms of love. Something long, low, and lean flashes across the road in front of us, and David gasps. We swerve. David gasps again. He lightens up on the throttle, and we slow down, way down. The thing has vanished into the shadows, but David has gone tense. I can practically feel his nerves jumping against my skin. He leans forward, away from me. The cold air passes between us. The wind whips the back of his t-shirt, grips my throat. David leans farther forward. He wants me to loosen my hold. I loosen my hold. Okay? I ask. He nods. Sorry, just got a little. He falters. What? He shakes his head. Whatever he was going to say, it's been dismissed. Gotta catch my breath, that's all. I go for the light touch, just enough of a hold to keep me from pitching off the back of the bike should David decide to gun it again. I peer over his shoulder at the speedometer. We're barely pushing 30 now. Out here in the country, the limit is 70, and I can't help it. I want it to be months ago, last year again. Him, the senior guy, graduating a semester early, me, the junior girl, just moved to Killdeer and new to school. I want David to drive away from tomorrow, not toward it. I want him to drive fast. We ride on, slow and steady, with David silent and watchful. Grassy fields spread around us, starry sky arcs above. I lift a hand from David, and what the heck? I reach for the stars. I reach higher. I will snag a dark but spangled cloak of sky. I will drag it down and drape it over David's shoulders. He will be dressed like a hero. He will be a hero. He will come home from Iraq. But the stars slip through my fingers, and then the whole sky too. I wrap my arms around David again. Don't go, I whisper. He doesn't hear for the wind. Thank you.